לרצון עם רפי והגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי וגואלי יהיו לרצון עם רפי והגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי וגואלי עושה שלום במרומם הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל באי עולם ואמרו אמן עושה שלום במרומם הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל באי עולם ואמרו אמן יהיו לרצון עם רפי והגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי וגואלי עושה שלום במרומם הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל באי עולם ואמרו אמן עושה שלום במרומם הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל באי עולם ואמרו אמן עושה שלום במרומם הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל באי עולם ואמרו אמן עושה שלום במרומם הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל באי עולם ואמרו אמן
Vaeted lohe bimvot ha'kfar ve'ole ha'haba mishvilei afar v'chachet otzemet imanim melavet meshech hatzlalim erev ba erev ba
Just like children sleeping, we could dream the night away. But there's a full moon rising, let's go dancing in the light. We know where the music's playing, let's go out and feel the night. Because I'm still in love with you, I wanna see you dance again. Because I'm still in love with you on this harvest moon. But now it's getting late, and the moon is climbing high. I wanna celebrate, see it shining in your ufachim kochavim, v'maromatam, v'ha'ek b'yemek ha'kafel, melaveh ha'tayim olael, la'irat, la'irat. Because I'm still in love with you, I wanna see you dance again on this harvest moon.
Please rise. Come together. Yep.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Please be seated. On this Shabbat, as we come towards another week for those in need of consolation, of comfort, of support, we start with a prayer to set the scene for our service, written by Rabbi Rachel Sabat Beit Halachmi, one of our Israeli progressive rabbis, a prayer for the redemption of captives. Our God, the one who raised Joseph up from the pit, be a refuge for the oppressed, a refuge in times of trouble. Send complete rescue and full redemption to those held captive by the enemy. Strengthen their spirit and bring them our prayers, that they be protected from all harm. Implant understanding in the hearts of those who hold them, that they may return the captives in wholeness of body and spirit. Grant wisdom to the Israel Defense Forces, that they may secure freedom from the captives without loss of life. Grant strength of spirit and courage of heart to all the sons and daughters of Abraham, Sarah, and Hagar, to release bonds of captivity and allow us to live in freedom. As the psalmist said, they shall call upon me and I will answer them. I will be with them in distress. I will rescue them and honor them. As our hearts and minds flutter throughout this service, both from being present in this sanctuary and all of our small sanctuaries wherever we are, and flutter out to our members and fellow congregants who are in Ukraine and joining us, those in Israel who are joining us, those wherever you are, in need of comfort, consolation, and support at this time. May this gentle service provide just a little bit of succor. May the joy, yes, the joy of welcoming in the Sabbath bring warmth to our hearts, so that when we leave this space, we do so with hope. On page 8.
Shirul Adonai, Shir Chadash, Shirul Adonai, Kol haaretz, Shirul Adonai, Baruch Hu Shemo, Basru miyom leyom, Yeshuato, Sapru v'goyim, Ve'hodo, B'chol ha'amim, Niflota, Ki Gadol Adonai, Ulam Me'od, Norahu, Hakol Elohim.
Sing unto God, all the earth, a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God, and we will sing along. We will sing a new song. And sometimes old songs to tunes which are new to us. And on this Shabbat, where we welcome Kevin Darvill, who will be speaking later in the service about Jews of Ethiopian origin, we did our best. We don't have Ethiopian tunes, but we do have tunes, at least from the Abu Yadaya community, for Lechadodi, the community of Uganda.
Odi lekrati kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela, lechato odi lekrati kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela, shamo v'zacho b'dibor echad, ishmihanu el cham yuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, l'shem tiferet v'lit kihila, lechato hodi lekrati kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela, לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוחה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה, לך תודי לקראתי קלה, פני שבת נקבלה, Hitorori, Kiva Hore, Kumiori, Uri, Shedaberi, Kavod Adonai, Alayef Nigla, Lechato Hodi, Lekrati Kala, B'nei Shabbat Nekabela, Boi v'shalom, ateret ba'ala, gam b'simcha u'b'tzochola, toch emunei am segula, boi chala, lechato hodi lekrati kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela, lechato hodi lekrati kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני. וזמר לשמך העליון, וזמר לשמך העליון, להגיד בבוקר חסדך, באמונתך בלילות. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני.
Please rise. Praise be the one to whom our praise is due. Praise the eternal one to whom our praise is due forever. Please be seated.
Come, let us bless the intelligence and order that fill all of nature, the laws by which evening twilight falls, the wisdom we perceive in the motions of the heavens, the understanding we can grasp of the way times vary and seasons change, and stars and planets wheeled by nature in their courses in the sky. Night unfailingly follows day, light fades unto darkness, and darkness yields to light. Day passes and night falls, as our bodies and minds distinguish between day and night, while the hosts of heaven shine in splendor.
We bless the glory of nature, which brings on the evening. Please rise.
shall talk of them when you're sitting in your house, when you're walking by the way, lying down and getting up, and you shall write them on the doors of your house and upon your gates, upon your gates. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
We remain standing as I'm delighted it couldn't have been more appropriate timing to ask God to bless Lawrence on the occasion of his birthday. Misha berach avotenu Avraham, Yitzhak v'Yaakov v'imotenu Sarah, Rivka, Rachel v'Leah. May God who blessed our ancestors bless Lawrence as he comes on the occasion of his birthday onto this bimah, and out of respect not only for the Jewish traditions and religion, but also of the community. As you celebrate with your family, and we celebrate with you 3 generations now of family that we have shared together, we ask God to bless you through all of your days. May they be joyful, may they bring well-being, and may you cycle hard with your rabbi. As coincidentally, Lawrence becomes chair of this sacred community, we also give thanks for you and the time and the strength that you give to community, not just this community, but elsewhere in society as well. And so a source of blessing to those who are around you now, but also those who came before you as well. We ask God to bless you with these ancient words that have blessed your family through generations. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka. May God look kindly upon you and be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. And may God reach out to you in tenderness. And may the next years of your life be lived in peace. And let us say, Amen. Mazel tov.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
Page 16, we read together, all this we hold to be true and sure. You alone, eternal one, are our God, and we are Israel, your people. You have freed us from oppressors and delivered us from tyrants. You've led us out of Egypt forever to serve you in freedom. When we witnessed your power, we praised your name and gave thanks. Willingly we accepted your rule. Then, full of joy, we sang together.
Oh
Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed. V'ne'emar kifada Adonai et Yaakov, u'ga'alo miyad chazak mimenu. Baruch atah Adonai, ga'al Yisrael.
On page 19, grant, eternal God, that we may lie down in peace, and let us rise up to life renewed. Excuse me. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your wise counsel, and for your name's sake be our help. Shield us from sickness and war, from famine and distress, and keep us from wrongdoing. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, for you are our guardian and deliverer, a gracious and merciful God. Guard our going out and our coming in, that now and always we may have life and peace.
We praise you, O God. May your sheltering peace descend on us and all who dwell on earth. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, va'al kol yoshvei teinu. Please rise. Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanura, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim v'Konei Hakol, v'Zocher Chastei Avot v'Imachot, Umevi Geula Livnei v'Neihem, למען שמו באחווה, מלך חוזה ומשיח ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם, בעזרת שרה. And over the page.
22. Source of all, your
vital energy sustains our world, redeeming it from lifelessness. The wind blows and the rain falls, the sun shines and the dew descends. With love you sustain the living. With great compassion, you embrace the dead in life. You are the support of the falling, the healing of the sick, and the release of the captive, keeping faith with those who sleep in the dust. Who is like you, source of all strength? Who is your equal, mighty author of life and death, planting the seeds of redemption? Trusting in you, we see life beyond death. We praise you, O God, embracing the dead within life. Kadosh atah v'norah shemecha, ve'in lanu Eloah mibaladecha. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated.
Shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, l'dorotam berit olam, beini uvein b'nei Yisrael, oti le'olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz, u'bayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash.
Over the page we read together. Our God and God of our ancestors, may our rest on this day be pleasing in your sight. In your gracious love, Eternal One, Let the holiness of your Sabbath enter our hearts, and may all Israel who hallow your name be exalted by its peace. We praise you, Eternal One, for the holiness of the Sabbath. And we continue together. Rutzei Adonai Eloheinu ba'amacha Yisrael, utefilatam ba'ahavat kabel, utehir ratzon tamid avodat Yisrael amecha, Baruch ata Adonai, she'otecha levadecha, b'yira na'avod, modim anachnu lach, she'ata hu Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu, le'olam va'ed. Tzor chayenu magei nishenu, ata hu l'dor v'ador, nodeh lecha u'nesaper techilatecha, al chayenu hamasurim biyadecha, va'al nishmotenu habakorot lach, va'al nisecha shebachol yom imanu, va'al niflotecha v'tovotecha, shebachol eit erev v'avoker v'tzochorayim, Baruch ata Adonai, hatov shimcha, ulahana l'chodot.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim le'olam. Ki ata melech hador, b'chol hashalom. Ki ata melech hador, b'chol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim le'olam. V'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael, b'chol עת ובכל שעה, לשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim le'olam. Tasim le'olam.
Baruch ata Adonai, osei hashalom. We pause for a few moments. May the words of our mouths and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable to you, O God, our rock and our redeemer.
Yehi ol ratzon, imrei fi, v'hegion libi lefanecha. Yehi ol ratzon, imrei fi, v'hegion libi lefanecha. Adonai tzori, Adonai tzori, Adonai tzori v'goali. Adonai tzori, Adonai tzori, Adonai tzori v'goali. Yehiyu l'ratzon, imrei fi, v'hegion libi lefanecha.
those who are regular congregants can now play spot the difference with my clothing. Normally on a Friday night like this, I'm wearing my Leo Beck College talit. This is one which comes out only on special times when you get married. This is my wedding talit and kippah. Beautiful talit and kippah and bag, which was created by women in Gondar province in Ethiopia. We have a selection at the back as well if you might like to have a look. But I'm delighted to welcome Kevin Darvill. Kevin is a member of the Edgware and Hendon Reform Synagogue and also of the Exeter congregation that I travel down to and have done roughly every other month over this year, and I will again next year. It's been my honour to get to know Kevin, for us to talk together, to pray together as well in a completely beautiful historic building. Kevin is involved with Meketa, the organisation that seeks from this country to look after the welfare of Jews in Gondar province, of which he will say more right now.
Thank you so much. Wonderful introduction. Thank you for inviting me here. This week's portion is the last time we read of the matriarch and the first of the 7 prophetesses, Sarah, being alive. Her death is one of the reasons attributed to this month being called Mar Heshvan. Perhaps more commonly heard of is that the rabbis of old coined the phrase because of its lack of any joyous festivals coming between Tishri and Kislev, when we celebrate the minor but fun festival of Hanukkah. The Mar, meaning bitter, and coming from the same Hebrew root as maror, as in what you see on the Seder plate at our next major pilgrim festival in Pesach. This year, that's feeling quite far away at the latter half of April. But there's actually 2 truths here. According to the Shulchan Aruch, the correct name is Mar Heshvan, all as one word after all, it's not 2 words. The Mar prefix being derived from the Akkadian word originating from Babylon and Assyria, meaning the 8th, and this is the 8th month after all. It's also a misconception that this month has no Jewish festivals, but I'll come to that shortly. For many of us now, this month, this year, can seem pretty bitter. There are Jews and their neighbours in the front line of a war zone, where every day they risk injury and death, where rampant inflation has exacerbated poverty and hunger, where territorial rivalries are old and new, political disagreement and power plays erupt into conflict, where military and militants prowl the streets with rifles with little care for civilians caught in the crossfire. It calms down, it flares up, but this is a war that has gone on for a long time and has no easy resolutions. Ever since the start of the latest conflict, Jews have been going about their lives in fear for the past 3 months. 3 months? I thought you were going to think I was talking about Israel. No, my name's Kevin, and I'm the chair of Meketa, the British charity founded 10 years ago by Rabbi Sybil Sheridan and her Israeli friend, Hila. And I thank you for allowing me to be here this Shabbat. Working through partner organisations in Gondar in Ethiopia, our mission is to support the Jewish community in Gondar by helping them to be more financially independent. But Jews in Ethiopia, haven't they all been airlifted to Israel ages ago? That's what so often we get asked. Many have, through well-known events in recent Jewish history, like Operation Moses in 1984, the same time as the famine and that famous Christmas song that we'll hear played a lot soon, and in 1991's Operation Solomon, plus, for those of you who caught the movie Dead Sea Diving Resort, about the Mossad-run holiday camp, which was a complete ruse. But there remains about 12,000 Jews in Ethiopia right now. It's a long story dating back to the time of the First Temple, King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba, and even intrigue, as it said, the Ark of the Covenant, the actual one, is in the Ethiopian city of Aksum right now. Over dinner, I'm happy to tell you about it, how it really matters in Ethiopian Christianity, and how some daring Israelis tried their luck to steal it back. We know the Jews went north to Ashkenaz. We know they went west to Sepharad. We know they went east to Mizrach. So of course they went south. We already know of the Jews of Yemen, Moses had a Cushite wife, the word being a Semitic precursor to Ethiopia. And we know the Jews went south in temple times to Elephantine on the Nile. It really doesn't take much as a journey to push on to the source of the Nile, Lake Tana, in northern Ethiopia, in Amhara, where many of the Jews of Ethiopia who await making Aliyah right now and are in the middle of a violent feud between the Ethiopian federal government and the Fano militia, between the regional state who recently they were helping the national government to fight another civil war next door in Tigray. But why are the Jews still there right now? Didn't they all go to Israel? Well, no. Just like the rabbis after the destruction of the Second Temple didn't know about the festival of Heshvan, the Ethiopian community was cut off and didn't in fact know that the First Temple had been destroyed. So everything that came after it, the Babylonian exile, the Second Temple, the Roman occupation, the rabbinic decree of matrilineal descent, they were all unknown. The Ethiopians are patrilineal Jews by their very nature. The Talmud was inconceivable, as was the concept of there being no temple, let alone the concept of a modern state of Israel. Like the Karaites, the Ethiopian practice was purely biblical, and that's First Temple biblical. That means the Ethiopian Jewish community had its own set of priests called Kezim and its own festivals, unique to the Beta Israel. That's the name for the Ethiopian Jewry, meaning House of Israel. The festival of Sigd, which occurs next weekend, starting at sunset on Sunday the 12th of November, is exactly 50 days after Yom Kippur, on the 29th of Mar Heshvan, and it comes from the word prostration. It's marked by pilgrimage, fasting, reciting psalms, and at its very conclusion, breaking of the fast, dancing, and general revelry. Doesn't that sound pretty Jewish? Since 2008, it's also been an official holiday in the state of Israel, and so this year for Ethiopian Jewry in the Jewish state, it will be marked in the context of conflict. Although not as widely celebrated anymore in Ethiopia itself, their Jewish brothers and sisters will similarly be doing so, living in a state of warfare. And that's the second truth. Heshvan is not devoid of Jewish festivals after all. Why these Jews remain in Ethiopia when they want to go to Israel is not that difficult to answer. The state of Israel has recognized them as Jews and they're eligible for Aliyah. They have at least one Jewish grandparent. And indeed, there were mass protests in Israel around the Knesset, largely by Ethiopian Israelis, to bring their brothers and sisters home to the land of Israel. But in Israel, who is a Jew halakhically is determined by the rabbinate, and for them, it's matrilineal only that counts. There's a story of intermarriage and externally adopting Christianity like the Muranos, the Conversos with the similar Ethiopian derogatory term falashas, meaning outsider, was applied to them. In order to survive and attempt to survive, active outwardly practicing Christianity were things we've already heard of with the Spanish and Portuguese communities, and they happened in Ethiopia too. Through contact with Israel over the past few decades, and with the fear of persecution for not being Christian having subsided, they have embraced modern Orthodox Judaism and returned to their Jewish roots. Various recent Israeli governments promised to bring about 8,000 on the Jewish Agency's list to Israel, and even Netanyahu himself promised to do so, but that was a different government and at a different time. And for now, that's unlikely to happen. Meketa is Amharic. It's one of Ethiopia's native languages, and it's actually most closely related to Hebrew, although it has 5 alphabets, so it gets super complicated. It means support, and it's our charity's mission to do that, to help the community in Amhara, centred around the city of Gondar, to help themselves. Maimonides said in his 8 Principles of Tzedakah that the highest form of charity is where the donor gives the recipient the wherewithal to become self-supporting. Our activities include education for children and microloans and other support for adults. And by doing that, that's what we aim to do. Giving them now within their impoverished community the chance of better prospects in Ethiopia, but also when they're able to make Aliyah, to make them better prepared for life in Israel, so as not repeating the mistakes of past Aliyot, putting Russian nuclear scientists in a room with an illiterate Ethiopian weaver and trying to teach them Hebrew. Stuck between the proverbial rock and a hard place where they cannot get to Israel, but they're in a country with virtually non-existent welfare state that is in a state of war, where it's also known that the community wants to emigrate from Ethiopia as soon as it can, poverty is rife and exasperated by inflation caused by war. Unfortunately, it's the Jewish community that comes out worse. Through the support of Meketa, a small number of donors and followers in the UK, USA, Europe, Israel and around the world, we can make a big difference to Jewish lives for those caught up in poverty and war. But all I ask of you tonight, everybody here and everybody listening online, is to know that there are Jews in Ethiopia still, to tell that story to your family and friends and to spread the word. Because a little Meketa, a little support, goes a long way, and we can make life better for the Beta Israel and a little less maror. Ken Yehi Ratzon, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom and Shekorach. Superb. Thank you so much indeed. And please do come and chat with Kevin after the service and over dinner as well. Please do look at the talitot as well. And if you've never worn a talit before, maybe you will, because they are utterly beautiful. And it really feels very special to be wearing something which I know was woven by women in Gondar province in Ethiopia. For now, though, let us conclude our service, and we turn to page 27 in our booklets, and would you please rise? Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol, la'teit gula liyotzeh bereshit, asher sam chelkeinu li'ached et shemo, v'gor aleinu la'chamlich malchuto. On this day, let us dedicate ourselves anew to the task that our ancestors tried in all their higher moments to fulfill, to bring nearer a time when all your children will understand that they are brothers and sisters, so that one in spirit and fellowship they may be forever united before you. Then shall your sovereignty be established on earth, and the words of your prophet shall be fulfilled.
Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed.
This time we remember those who died in recent days. And our thoughts and minds go out to all those who have died this week in conflict, and those who died at this time of the year in years gone by. On this Shabbat, we recall the art sites remembered by members of our community. Suzanne Hafner, the wife of Michael, mother of Alex and Adam. Brenda Shaw, the grandmother of Ali Elton. Maisie Freeman, the mother of Cynthia Drapkin and Olivia Freeman, grandmother of Jonathan and Jane. Eveline Berman, the sister of Ray Lazarus. Ros Colin, the mother of Richard, grandmother of Joseph and Jemima. Betty Herman, the grandmother of Ed and Jess. Farnaz Jalali, the mother of Navid. And Julius Black, the father of Sharon Downs, grandfather of Natasha and Anton. Zecher tzadikim livracha. May all that was dear and good in their lives always remain as a blessing and as a continual influence for good. As we say together, Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayedecho beit Yisrael, ba'agalau v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shemei rabbah mavarach le'olam ulalmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ah v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitada v'yitaleh v'yitalal, shemei dekudesha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran ba'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabbah min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Osei shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'al kol b'nei Adam, v'imru amen. Please be seated. And Ines is reminding me that I'm not the only one in the congregation to have a Meketa talit. Harry Levy, who was one of our recent bar mitzvahs, was wearing a Meketa talit and kippah as well. Maybe it'll be a tradition which will continue within the community. Tomorrow morning, Kevin, you're going to have the delight of having these 4 young people and another 5 or 6 or 7 of them as well from our Kabbalat Torah class. Adults, please do come in at 10 o'clock as well to engage with Kevin as he shows some videos and expands on the story of the Jews of Gondar province. So at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. We've got so much going on tomorrow. We've got a baby blessing, a birthday blessings from someone who, finally got over here from Jersey. It was touch and go. Thursday, it definitely wasn't happening. Jersey was locked down. Today, fortunately, they were able to get on a plane, get over here. It's a very special birthday blessing. You'll recognise the family tomorrow morning. And also a fantastic bar mitzvah of Jaden as well. So much going on, so please do join us. If you would like more company or if you would like to learn more about your own Judaism, please join our Exploring Judaism group between 1 and 3:30 in the sanctuary with me or online tomorrow. And then again at 5 o'clock, you can join in community for Havdalah. If you're online now, you can join us in our Kiddush Zoom room. You'll see the faces popping up any minute now. We're going to be making Kiddush in here so that we can enjoy the wonderful merchandise from the Meketa as well, and also just enjoy chatting with each other. Thank you to Fiona for leading the service with me and for absolutely wonderful musicians and singers who have beautified this service and created just a beautiful atmosphere, one which does bring us a little bit of joy on this Shabbat. We conclude our service, if you turn on in your booklets, on to middle of page 32. Let justice well up like water, righteous like an ever-flowing stream. That is imperfect, in a time when conflict feels all around us. May we be just small droplets of water that well up and provide the righteous world that will come back to us all. A world that can be complete, at least more complete than when we arrived into it. Adonai Oz Le'amo Yitain. Eternal God grants strength to your people. Adonai Yevarech et Amo v'Shalom, so that we may play our part in bringing about some peace and wholeness. Amen. Shabbat Shalom to you all. Shabbat Shalom to everybody online. Please do look at the bottom of your screen and you'll see the link to come into our Kiddush Zoom room to join with Nova and Ali and Paul. We're going to make Kiddush where we are. Hopefully the Kiddush is going to come in at any moment now. If not, then I will go and get it. And it's going to come. Ali, you can't help me.